Welcome back one and all, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Torment, Tides of Numenera. I'd like to remind everyone this is a blind playthrough, as is the first, well, I guess just technically the second playthrough, as in the last video, we ended our first playthrough abruptly by slamming into the planet at terminal velocity, splattering our body all over the whatever thing we hit. This is technically our second playthrough with a character that survived, and we crashed through this chamber. We had a little encounter inside of our mind, and now we're gonna look around this room. So we found two companions. We have Algern and Kalistej, and that's really about it for now. Let's see what this is. It looks sparky. A mechanical arm lies on the floor, presumably broken during your fall. Sparks pour from the arm's shattered housing, filling the air with a greasy stench. Let us lure machinery / quickfingers. Attempt to scavenge what you can from the arm's housing. If you select a companion's portrait in the effort window, they can assist the last cast-off, with some challenges. Your companion's stat points are used instead of your own, and they may have different skills, abilities, and statistics that make the challenge easier. Companions cannot assist in a crisis and can only use their stats during their turn. Okay. Looks like he's pretty good at this kind of stuff. 95% chance? I like those odds. Taking care to avoid the sparks, you extract several handfuls of shiny trinkets and coin-like objects. You recognize their value at once. Such objects would be accepted as shins, the informal currency in most regions of the world, so you gather them up and take them with you. We also found a spray fish, which is heals 8 points of health. Let's examine the housing. The sharply pointed apparatus that formerly topped the device appears burnt out and useless, but the equipment at the base remains at least somewhat operational, as the constant stream of sizzling motes can attest. Okay. Wait, can we do the housing again? Sparks anger. Okay, never mind. Nothing happens. Moving on. There's a crystal-y thing here. Sunlight falls through the ragged hole in the roof onto the shattered resonance chamber. It is hard to believe that you did this, that you plummeted through the curve of the pale blue sky, crashed through the dome, and broke this delicate machine with your own body. It's hard to believe that you are still alive. 4 mechanical arms hang over the center of this device, above the cracked semi-transparent crystal of the sarcophagus. The 5th arm lies broken on the floor among the scattered synth and crystal shards, and a metal ring surrounds the array, dented and broken by your impact crater. Let's take a look at the sarcophagus. The padded interior beneath the coffin's cracked lid looks like it was made for a human body. Despite the damage, you don't see any way to open it and get inside. You glance between the sarcophagus and the needle-like protrusions at the ends of the arms above. It seems likely that using this chamber would not be a pleasant experience. Suspended arms, let's check those out. Cables run from the machines along the dome's walls to the base of the suspended arms, each of which is capped with long needles aimed at the cracked coffin-like chamber at the center of the platform. Gem-like lights flicker dimly at the bases of the arms. Anamnesis. I can't say that word. Anamnesis? Anamnesis. A memory steals over you, and it isn't yours. Sunlight falls through the unbroken dome, casting short angular shadows behind the servitors laboring to construct the device you and your assistants have designed. Their efficiency is perfect. After all, you designed them as well. The components are nearly in place: a ring for bounding, a platform for focusing, and 5 injectors, 1 for each tide. It is a moment before you realize the memory has faded and you've spoken aloud. Let's do the metal ring then. You feel the slightest hint of resistance every time you cross the ring. And now that you're paying attention, you note that your breath is echoing in your ears, as though you were inside a glass dome. When you step outside of the ring, the feeling passes, and the shards on the ground. Jagged fragments of the crystal are intermingled with synth from the shattered dome above. The crystal shards glitter in the light like captive suns. That's it. Alright, moving on then. Let's go examine this thing. Oh, that's it. Flexible tubes that are attached to this machine appear to be later additions. Someone cobbled the device together, but its function is unclear. Tiny glowing motes float through the interior of this tower. Each one is surrounded by much smaller motes, like thousands of worlds circling their suns.
Alright.
What's this thing do? A slate black, unimpressive device hunkers before you. As you reach out to touch it, the triangle of lights on its casing blazes to life, and an image unfolds in your mind. A towering crystal arch rises over a jagged gray landscape. The air is dead and stifling, and there, at its emerald peak, "Command me," the device or the intelligence within it says, each word carefully etched with distaste. "Who are you?" "Your command was not understood," the intelligence says with clear satisfaction, sounding for all the world like it understood the question, but is choosing not to answer. "Command me." "What was that arch you showed me?" Your command was not understood. The intelligence chuckles. Its lights, its lights pulsing. Command me. Examine the outside of the device. An indignant hum rises from the intelligence's engines as you examine its ancient casing. Nothing looks out of the ordinary. You step back and the hum fades away. What commands do you recognize? The three lights throb irritably. Heated air sighs from the device's vents, and then a towering list of commands races through your mind, far too fast to read. You rub your eyes, groaning, and the intelligence chortles. Command me, it says smugly. Show me that list of commands again. Slower, please. If anything, the list pours through your mind even faster than the last time. Command me? The intelligence drawls. Slower again. No, it doesn't. Okay, we're gonna leave it alone for now. Actually, maybe. Hang on. Anyone else able to smash this thing? Oh, there's no checks. Who's got decent strength? You do. 95 is pretty good. More than sufficient to kick a machine. The intelligence's lights flutter in alarm just before your foot smashes into the base of the device. Something within goes crunch. Cell getting damaged, it gasps. The trio of lights focus on you with blinding intensity. All prisoners lost. Shuddering Lungambo. The hatch opens. The hatch springs open near the dent left by your foot, and the lights flicker off as you claim a hissing component from the device's smoking interior. We got a view shard. The shard of glass displays an image of three strangely garbed ... dots. You plan on breaking every machine in here?
You
Crackle.
got it.
Maybe, if they are annoying. Alright, we have 10 shins, potion of intellect, and a potion that gives us more speed back.
Ready.
And I think that's it for this room. What's this? Broken fragments of the dome ceiling are scattered on the floor. They appear to be made of transparency. Okay, we're out of here. We're good. I like her. She's cool with the weird image moving. We're going to be playing a good character this time. We play evil a lot. Or maybe we'll play evil. I don't even know. Who wants Elgern?
This
Okay.
is the reef of fallen worlds, kid. It's a dangerous place at the best of times. And with you lighting up the sky as you fell, well, we should get out of here as soon as possible.
Why were you looking at me when you said that? I wasn't, he growls. Don't be so paranoid. But when she isn't looking, he raises his eyebrows at you knowingly. Can you tell me about your tattoos? They look almost alive. He looks away. Oh, sorry, these. They're nothing. Call them a consolation if you must. He smiles grimly. Some call them by worse names, but that's because they've had an occasion to run afoul of these little snakes. He looks away. This line of questioning is clearly at an end. What do you think we should do next? You want to fix that crystal chamber back there, yeah? First step is getting out of this reef. What makes the reef so dangerous? The Numenera of the past are always dangerous, but there are other dangers too, some closer than others. Can you tell me what are the Numenera? You want me to tell you? He laughs without mirth. The Numenera are all around you, everything left over from the prior worlds. Sage's Cliffs thrives by trading artifacts from ancient civilizations. Hells, you can't scoop a handful of earth without finding drift from prior worlds mixed with it. Numenera is everything from the prior worlds, but mostly we just mean the stuff of value to us. A lot of the Numenera are just oddities, fancy trinkets with little real use, but sometimes you'll get a cipher that lets you do something incredible. Artifacts are worth even more. A cipher will only do something once, but artifacts last a lot longer, though they can burn out at the most inconvenient times. He frowns. Not that it's ever happened to me. Of course, we've got no idea what most of this junk was originally intended for. In most cases, it doesn't really matter. Like, you might find what used to be a propulsion unit from a star chariot, but who the hell knows enough to do the rest of it? Better use it as a weapon or a power source. He scowls, frustrated about something. I bet we could remake the world if we knew a tenth of the secrets of the ancients. But most days it's a challenge just to survive. What's your story? Ask me again when we get out of here. I don't trust this damned reef any more than the company we keep. What do you think of Kellistage? A parasite disguised as Skullark. Don't be surprised if she betrays you before the day is done. Actually, that would be slow for her. Then why are you traveling with her? He clenches his mouth shut, and you can see his jaw muscles working. She said she could help me with a problem I had. We never seemed to get anywhere with my business, but found plenty of time for hers. He looks you squarely in the eye. It wasn't something I'd care to do again. Keep that in mind when you talk to her. Alright, let's get going.
Sure.
What are these things? They are cool looking. I want to see what they are. Two floating cones whirl and spin deliriously around each other, giggling like children being tickled. The air around them smells of sweat. Or sweet burning leaves. Let's touch it as it passes. 100%, alright. Do it up. You manage to graze one of them with the tip of your finger. Roarn, a voice says, and your vision is stolen from you. A moon hangs over you, but it is not the one you recognize. It's black, and in a pearl-white sky. Thick, flat asteroids orbit like petals in the wind. You feel questing tendrils at your ankle, and hot wind on your face smells of scorched air and grief. Your vision returns, the cones hang motionless, for only a second before resuming their giggling dance. Watch for patterns. The longer you stare at these artifacts, the more you're convinced that they turn faster when they're spiraling past across each other. What are you? The cones continue whirling and laughing like enraptured dancers, giving no sign they've heard you. What are you for? The cones greet your question with a split second of hushed silence, followed by delighted peals of helpless giggling. They aren't for anything. They're from one of the worlds before this one. Allegorn rubs a hand along his double jaw. Sometimes the Numenera will do something useful. Sometimes they'll turn you inside out, and sometimes they don't do a damn thing that makes sense. I've often said the same thing about you, darling, Killistage murmurs. Try speaking to the cones again. Nothing. Okay. Well, the cones were not very useful.
Of course.
Moving on. Some loot. There's a lutriated force, a Fleetfoot moss, and some more shins. I kind of wish we had a weapon of some sort. We have nothing. Although we do have a lot of these things. Those aren't ciphers. Oh, ciphers are like the crystal things. Okay. These are just consumable artifacts.
In an instant.
Alright, let's try this thing. This nettle branch type thing. A tangled cluster of metallic tendrils grows from the depths of the nearby water. Strangely, they resemble clawed alien hands, most of which have 7 or 8 fingers. Break it off. Not you. I want you to keep your strength up. That'll knock him pretty much out of 80%. Let's go with 100%. I want this to work. We gained an item called an 8-fingered mace. You aren't happy unless you're breaking things, are you? Try pulling another hand out of the cluster. You wrap your hands around one of the wrists and pull with all your strength. Eventually, gasping, you give up. The tendrils seem thicker and stronger now, as if they fortified themselves against you. Okay. So now we have a mace. It's a medium melee weapon. We're more good with light weapons, but at least we have a weapon. That's a start.
Yes.
A matte black obelisk floats in the mid-air above the water. It has sharp curved sides that converge to a glowing tip that brightens or dims with the passing of the bay's faint breezes. Let's touch it. You raise your hand towards the obelisk. A dull green light wells from within the black stone, fixed on you like a furious eye. I know someone who did what you're about to do, Allegorn says casually. Aeon Priest. A beam came out of the top of that thing and ripped his face off. Made a fancy nightlight out of his crystal necklace, though. But hey, I sure you know what you're doing. Oh, hush. At least that poor priest died in service of his curiosity rather than stumbling about the coast complaining and feeling sorry for himself. Go ahead if you must, she tells you, ignoring Allegorn's glare, but do be careful. Let's do it again. Once again, a dull, malevolent beam looms from the obelisk as you extend your hand towards it. Let's yank our hands away. Ooh, it's a skill test. We only have a 90% chance of not dying, probably. A beam of light streaks from the tip of the obelisk towards your hand, but you are faster, and it passes within a hair of your tingling fingertips. As you watch the obelisk for any further signs of danger, the glow fades. Allegorn lets out a low, appreciative whistle. You don't see people dodge light every day. Let's reach towards the obelisk again. Okay, it just fires back at us yet again.
Let's do it.
I'm guessing we could have got a hand mace out of that without smashing the hand thing. Okay, yeah, nothing of interest there anymore. What's this thing? The water is clear, almost unnaturally so, revealing ruins upon ruins as far as you can see. That's kind of awesome, actually. That leads us back down to where we were before. Although this cube hovers in the air, you can feel the ground shudder with its vibrations. A long cable extends from this spout, but at the point where it dips below the water, it's been snapped in half. That's the dome where we fell in. This jagged hole is where you crashed through the dome.
On it.
Alright, there's a new thing to explore here. Let's do that. A bubbling mass of sludge floats on the surface of the water. Every once in a while, an oily nodule separates from it and hurls into the sky. You catch momentary glimpses of a muck-coated object in the putrid mass. Quick fingers and perception. Let's use somebody else. Who's got good perception? You have decent perception. 95% is more than enough, I think. You found a cipher. Ciphers are Numenera objects that can trigger a powerful effect but can be only used once. Ciphers and your cipher limit score are displayed in a special section of your inventory screen. Take care not to accumulate more ciphers than your cipher limit or you will experience unpleasant side effects. We gained fresh vapors. I'm not sure whether that awful muck is harmless or you're immensely lucky. Either way, do go on poking things, dear. It's quite entertaining. Let's search for more objects. You spot no other mysterious objects in the bubbling mass. Okay. Actually, wait. We can wait for more treasure to surface. Minutes tick past as you patiently wait beside the mass of sludge. Nothing ever surfaces. Okay.
In an instant.
The cable... Oh, this is... Oh, I see. A cable connects the spout to the collection device. The nodule looks like it may have been attached to another machine at one time, but it's not anymore. The strange lines and rippling forms of these sunken buildings are dramatically different than the architecture above the waterline. This device is collecting black goop from somewhere underwater and pumping it to a nearby spout. There's something up there, but I don't know how to get there. Oh, I see. We can go up there that way. Okay, wait. There's something here I want to look at first. And there's loot. Let's go get the loot first. And then we'll touch the door thing.
In this world, then.
Is there like a rest button so we can get our skills back? Or is that a thing? Inventory. Character screen. Journal. Area map. Ooh, area map. Let's take a look. So we're pretty much almost done this area, actually. It's not that huge of an area, but it's very detailed and very cool. This metal door is thick, heavy, and unmarked by time. Double rows of circular bumps run horizontally and vertically across its surface. It is firmly sealed. Examine it more carefully. The metal surface is infused with the minuscule threads that are barely visible to the human eye. They only run in straight lines and right angles, and they seem to converge at these circular bumps. Upon closer inspection, you notice that each of the bumps is unique. Some have flat spaces, others are actually many-sided polygons, and a few are marked by tiny apertures. Unfortunately, you don't see anything that resembles a knob, keyhole, or access device. You try touching both the flat planes of the door and the small bumps, but nothing happens. Let's knock on the door. You knock lightly at first, then harder. The door makes no sound at all, nor does it shudder or yield. There's no one home, dear. Hasn't been for thousands of years. She peers at the door. One of my colleagues at the order claimed she got inside, but I don't believe her. I'm not done examining this thing. I guess I'm done examining this thing. Okay.
It's a plan.
We have not gotten inside, and we have no way to do so at the moment.
You've got it.
Cobalt petals fold over a short metal stem. Calcified minerals hold the ancient weapon close. It's a weapon? Cool. What's this thing do? Oh, we have people coming. An encounter. That's a lot of dudes. There's at least 4 of them. As you step onto what looks like the back of the enormous construct, 4 strangers approach you. In the lead is a wiry man with parallel scars running from cheek to collarbone on the left side of his face. He gives you a welcoming smile, pulling on gray gloves embedded with pulsing lights. He's about to say something when he notices Kellistage. Cal, thought you'd sworn not trawling the reef. Found anything tasty? His eyes travel up and down both of you and Algern. Odds and ends, Koro. Nothing that would interest you, I'm sure. Her words are calm, but she has gone quite still. Kellistage, is something wrong? Nothing's wrong, my dear. I accompanied Koro on an expedition once long ago. His methods were too crass for my tastes, though in his defense he never tried to kill me when my back was turned. She beams at Koro, or if he did, he failed and I didn't notice. I don't like any of this. Algern hisses in your ear, but loud enough that Kellistage can hear too. If she's cagey about him, it can only mean trouble. You should hear what I tell people about you, dear. She gives Algern a venomous smile. Killer or not, she whispers. Koro is not a man who can be trusted with unvarnished truth. Tread lightly. I'm going to turn to Koro. What do you want? Right to the point, this one, isn't he? I know most of the draft that scavenges the reef these days, but it's a rare pleasure to see a new face. His smile is disarming. All I want is information. A falling star landed near here not long ago, and I don't suppose you were around to see it. What are those gloves for? Unwelcome, but anticipated complications. He does not elaborate. He does so love his ambushes, Calistage whispers in your ear again, even though her mouth is closed and she isn't looking at you. He didn't have the gloves when I knew him, but I'd wager they're connected to the devices in the area. So, Koro says, apparently unaware of Calistage's interruption. The star, have you seen it? Nice scars, how did you get them? Two things are more dangerous than death in this world, he says, his smile widening. Asking impolite questions of strangers and playing with Numenera you don't fully understand. My error was in the latter category, and I've grown more careful since. I'm going to try deception. I'll be honest with you. I saw the star, don't know where it landed. Okay, anyone better at deception than me? 45% chance is our highest? Oh man. Well, that's worth a shot. Nope. Koro regards you skeptically. You have such an honest face. Lies don't belong on it. Let's be truthful with each other, Fallen Star. You have two choices here, and both of them are dreadful. He holds up a finger. First option. You surrender to us, and we convey you to my employer for, well, experimentation and dissection. Frankly, it's not pretty, but there it is. He holds up a second finger. Second option. We kill you and the old man. Try not to kill Calistage and bring your body to our employers anyways. He winks to Calistage. Apologies, sweetness. Allegren whirls on Calistage, his face tight with fury. You told him we were here, didn't you? You couldn't resist selling me out one more time? Are you really so paranoid? She sighs in expiration. Darling, she says to Quarrel, take your thugs and go home. Otherwise we'll have to rip you to pieces, and the world is already so untidy. Quarrel clutches his gloved fist and a soft whistle pierces the air. What do you say, Fallen Star? Not going anywhere with you. What a shame, Quarrel says and glances at his companions. Now! Silvertide raised a tiny amount. In a crisis, characters take turns in the sequence shown on the top of the screen. Okay. I'm gonna try and talk him out of this because this is a bad thing. Koro's moving. That hurt. Actually, it didn't hurt all that much. What's an image blocker? It's stealth of some sort. Okay. I'm going for it. A long tube emerges from the plating of the dead construct and winds upwards. The duct terminates in a hollow cone. Every few seconds, a minute drop of green liquid drips out at the end and steams as it strikes the ground. A round dial rests at the base of the cone, ringed by a thin crust of corroded metal. It appears to be a valve that controls the flow of the noxious substance, but it looks like it hasn't been moved in centuries. Let's do it. We won 100% on this one. Failure might be devastating for us. With a crack, the valve budges a centimeter. A thin stream of noxious fluid pours from the nozzle and hisses into the metal surface. You open the valve a bit further and aim the ensuing spray. Allegren's body is covered in strange shifting tattoos. He can use the Living Tattoo's ability to pluck a strand of ink from himself, granting him the Living Tattoo's Fettle. While the Fettle is active, he gains increasing bonuses by chaining together similar actions, attacks, healing, applying other Fettles. If he uses a different kind of action, he breaks the chain and loses the Fettle. Okay. I have to use the ability bar icon above the portraits. Oh, it's right there.
I hate using these things. Like stripping a memory.
Let's make it a good attack. Calistage is a dimensional husk who exists in multiple realities at the same time. She uses transdimensional power to teleport between locations using her dimensional superposition ability. It uses her movement and... Teleporting uses her move instead of her attack action, so she can activate it and then do something else. Okay. Well, I want whatever this is. There's a shallow depression in the surface here, like many others scattered around the construct. Unlike the others, the energy still pulses across this one at random intervals. A slight yet implacable sense of unease emanates from each wave of energy. There's a loose lens at the center of the depression. You think you could redirect the psychic effects somewhere more useful, but it will be tricky to get in between the energy pulses. Let's do this thing. 100%. With careful timing, it's easy to twist the lens into what is hopefully a more favorable position. The lens glows, warning of an impending energy pulse. The field of energy extends outwards and worms into eyes, ears, and mouths of Koro's team. Hope drains from their faces, replaced by a numb stare. Then the shallow depression becomes dark and dormant. Alright. And she can move. But I'm not going to get her to move too far. Maybe just like right to there.
Instant.
Oh, that hurt. A haste spell on her, that's bad news. He healed his character, that sucked for us. And there's Gwen back. Can we talk to him? How do we talk to people? Right click? Nope. We can heal our character, which we should probably do.
You have no idea. Thanks.
Let's do the most damage we can. Almost killed him. You depleted one of your stat points. To recover your stat pools, you can find a place to sleep or use consumable items. Okay. And he can move if he wants to, but I think I'm going to keep him right there. So, end turn. What does she have? Transdimensional Onslaught.
Come, taste your death.
One dead. Might clearly makes right. Let's move this way.
Allow me.
I think. Energy net. We are immobilized, but that's okay. The tar spout shot Koro for us, and then he shot us with a crossbow in the back. What a coward. Let's attack with all the strength we can muster. Just basic attack. Missed at 80%, really? That sucks. He can't move, so I don't really know why it's giving me the option to move. He's immobilized. 7 damage, or we can blast him with magic.
None can stand before me.
That's 2 dead. We now outnumber the enemy. Looks like it's going pretty well for us. Let's move as far as we can.
Naturally.
Something like that. Sweet. It's moving in, which is a terrible idea for him. Oh, we got hit by that. We got hobbled. Elgard might need more healing again. Oh my god, we just killed him in a single hit. We are monsters.
Yes.
Let's get her into this
shall
place
see.
as well. Going after Koro. I wonder if we can... Oh god, this is gonna suck. Okay, it didn't hit us. Koro looks around. The point of his crossbow droops as he takes in the direness of his situation. Well, Falling Star, it seems you put me at a disadvantage. What do you say we let bygones be, He flashes a handsome smile. Remember, I'm just the employee here. All of us have got to eat. I'd rather part friends than wounded enemies, wouldn't you agree? A good suggestion. He's an honest boy mostly, if you're on the same side. Of course you'd say that. I'd feel safer if both of you jumped in the reef. Go. There's no reason more people need to be hurt. Gold tide rises a small amount. Raise a small amount. He beams. Right you are. As strong as you are smart. Well, I'll just be going then, eh? Goodbye, Quoro. These types of games, you gotta be kind of really careful about who you end up killing, because bad things can happen if you kill the wrong people. That was a fiasco, I have to say. I'm surprised you let him go. The changing god I knew wouldn't have done that. He crosses his arms. Anyway, I hope you learned something. You can't trust her in any reality. Excuse me? Are you suggesting I had something to do with Quoro's plans? Are you suggesting you didn't? An old friend of yours just happens to be waiting for us, armed and outnumbering us, as we return from the greatest find the reef has seen in years? It's too convenient. For me, too convenient by far. They attacked me too, in case you missed that. Well, they didn't kill you. Maybe you intended for them to weaken us so you could stab us in our sleep tonight. He throws up his hand, forestalling Calistasia's retort. Look, I don't care. Fact is, I can't trust you anymore, and I wonder why I ever did. This is the last we traveled together. I've got enough to worry about with having to watch my back 28 hours a day. He turns to you. You coming, kid, or what? You're really gonna walk away from each other over this? Oh, this is just the last needle that crushed the Anine. You haven't seen 1/10 of her depths, not 1/20th. She's a backstabbing bitch, and this mess here only proves it. Always a paragon of class, Allegern. If I did have any interest in betraying you, do you really think I would need Quoro's help? Yet this is thanks to you Yet this is the thanks I get for coddling your pain, rattle, judgment, weakness for so long. I've had enough, she turns to you. Child, I'm happy to guide you, but I will not walk another step with this paranoid buffoon. Finally, something we agree on, he growls. Kid, she'll chop off your head and spit down your throat. I'll get you where you need to go, and let you sleep at night to boot. It's up to you. Why can't I travel with both of you? Can't you just work it out? She bursts out laughing. My dear boy, we have been working it out. Allegern's petulance, his obstinacy in the face of fact would drive me away every day. He may be strong, but he's also thick. I dare you to try traveling with him and see how long you endure. Not as long as I have, I'll wager. His face darkens under her accusations, but he manages a pained smile. As if you're doing me a favor by staying with me. Do you think I don't see your true self and all those echoes around you? That's you, Calistage, every facet of it. Your vivisectionist's heart hasn't changed, just the way you present it. I thought I could help you, but... Of the two... Early game choices, eh? I think I like the guy more. I'll go with Allegern.
As you wish. Should you change your mind, I'll be at the order of truth. But don't bring the complainer. A farewell to you, child, and best of luck. You'll need it.
Thank you. And good riddance. He gestures towards the stair. Come on, whatever answers exist are up there. We lost our first character. We gained our first two, lost one already. Now that you've dealt with Quoro and his goons, you can continue on to the city of Sagus Cliffs. To reach the city, cross the bridge at the north end of the platform. Before you go, you may wish to take a moment and recover and search the bodies of your defeated enemies for any equipment or valuables. Absolutely. I know how to do that. There's a dagger, which we're going to take. And actually, we're going to take it all, obviously. There's a cipher here, an image blocker.
These ciphers are killing me.
We'll sell some ciphers, or give them to a merchant. There's an armband and a great sword.
All right.
And a buzzer light range weapon. And another cipher.
Too many ciphers.
Okay, we have too many ciphers for sure. Let's give one to him. Let's give two to him. Now we're at our cipher limit, and he can carry a ton of ciphers actually. We'll take a look at our ciphers in town and see if we can sell any of them. Cobalt. Oh, we already did that one. What's this? A spherical head hangs loosely from this stanchion. A single metal fiber holds it in place.
Yes.
And this one is a sickly green crust scabs over numerous cracks and divots in this turret. Okay, that's going to be the end of our video, guys. I do have to go do some packing and get ready to go on my trip to the Philippines. I might do one more video today if I have a chance. I'm hoping I will. But I got to do some chores and errands first, so stay tuned. There might be one more before I leave, but otherwise I will see you guys in a little under 2 weeks. So March 11th I will be back in Canada, and then we will continue on with our game at that point. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I actually really am enjoying it so far. It's a nice mixture of conversation and combat so far. I'm actually really enjoying it. It reminds me of Wasteland a little bit, and I really liked that game as well. So like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Hopefully, I'll see you guys for one more video before I leave. If not, farewell.